The National Electrical Code, or NEC, does permit the replacement of ungrounded two-prong receptacles with ground fault circuit interrupter type receptacles, also known as GFCIs, in older wiring systems that lack an equipment grounding conductor. This allowance is specifically addressed in the 2020 NEC, section 406.3d2. This specific code language states that receptacles installed in accordance with section 406.3b are permitted to be replaced with ground fault circuit interrupter type receptacles that shall be connected to any combination of grounded and ungrounded conductors. Receptacles connected to ungrounded conductors shall not be connected to the grounded circuit conductor, which is the equipment grounding conductor. Let's break down what this means in practical terms. Firstly, this provision allows for an upgrade in safety in situations where running a new equipment grounding conductor might be difficult or impractical, such as in older homes with wiring systems that predate the requirement for grounding. Secondly, the GFCI outlet provides a significant level of protection against electrical shock, even in the absence of an equipment ground. It works by constantly monitoring the current flowing into and out of the device connected to it. If it detects a difference of even a few milliamperes, typically 5 milliamperes, it quickly interrupts the circuit, cutting off power and preventing a potentially dangerous electrical shock. Thirdly, it is essential that the GFCI outlet be properly labeled with the sticker provided, indicating no equipment ground. This informs users and future electricians that the outlet is not connected to an equipment grounding conductor. This is crucial for safety and to avoid confusion during future electrical work. The installation of the GFCI outlet must adhere to specific guidelines. The GFCI outlet is connected only to the ungrounded, which is the hot, and grounded, which is the neutral, conductors. The equipment grounding conductor, which is typically a bare copper wire or a green insulated wire, should not be connected to the GFCI outlet. It should be either safely terminated or left disconnected in the outlet box, as per local electrical codes. While a GFCI outlet offers enhanced safety in ungrounded circuits, it is not a substitute for a properly grounded wiring system. Ideally, for maximum safety and functionality, the entire circuit should be upgraded to include an equipment grounding conductor. This provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, allowing the circuit breaker to trip quickly and clear the fault. This method ensures a safer and more reliable electrical system. When replacing an ungrounded receptacle with a GFCI, several important steps must be followed to ensure proper installation and safety. 1. Turn off the power to the circuits at the circuit breaker. This is the most important step to prevent electrical shock. 2. Remove the old receptacle from the outlet box. Carefully disconnect the wires from the old receptacle, noting which wire is connected to which terminal. 3. Identify the line and load terminals on the GFCI outlet. The line terminals are for the incoming power from the circuit breaker, and the load terminals are for extending the GFCI protection to other downstream outlets. 4. Connect the wires to the line terminals of the GFCI outlet. The ungrounded hot wire connects to the brass screw terminal, and the grounded neutral wire connects to the silver screw terminal. 5. Do not connect the equipment grounding conductor to the GFCI outlet. If there is an equipment grounding conductor in the box, cap it off with a wire connector and tuck it into the back of the box. 6. Mount the GFCI outlet in the outlet box and secure it with screws. 7. Attach the No Equipment Ground label to the GFCI outlet. This label is typically included with the GFCI outlet. 8. Restore power to the circuit at the circuit breaker. 9. Test the GFCI outlet by pressing the test button. The reset button should pop out indicating that the GFCI is working properly. If the GFCI does not trip, there may be a problem with the installation or the GFCI outlet itself. Another important consideration is the use of GFCI circuit breakers. Instead of replacing individual receptacles with GFCI outlets, a GFCI circuit breaker can be installed in the electrical panel to protect the entire circuit. This approach offers comprehensive protection and can be particularly useful for circuits that serve multiple outlets or appliances. GFCI circuit breakers function similarly to GFCI outlets, but they protect the entire circuit from ground faults. When a ground fault is detected, the circuit breaker trips, cutting off power to the entire circuit. This can be a convenient and effective way to upgrade the safety of older wiring systems. The NEC also addresses the use of surge protection devices, or SPDs, in conjunction with GFCI protection. While SPD are designed to protect against voltage surges, they can sometimes interfere with the operation of GFCI outlets. Therefore, it is important to select SPD that are compatible with GFCI circuits and to follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation. In some cases, it may be necessary to install the SPD on a separate circuit to avoid interference with the GFCI protection. When working with electrical wiring, it is always important to follow safe work practices. This includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves, and using insulated tools. Never work on live circuits, and always double check that the power is off before touching any wires or terminals. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. They have the knowledge, skills, and experience to ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with the NEC. In addition to the specific requirements for GFCI protection, the NEC also includes general requirements for electrical safety in residential and commercial buildings. These requirements cover a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and bonding. By following these requirements, you can help to ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive document, and it is important to stay up to date on the latest changes and revisions. The NEC is typically updated every 3 years, and each new edition includes changes and additions that reflect the latest advancements in electrical technology and safety practices. By staying informed about the NEC, you can help to ensure that your electrical work is safe and compliant. In summary, the NEC permits the replacement of ungrounded receptacles with GFCI outlets under certain conditions, as outlined in Section 406.3d2. However, it is important to follow the specific requirements for installation and labeling to ensure safety. While GFCI protection offers enhanced safety in ungrounded circuits, it is not a substitute for a properly grounded wiring system. Ideally, the entire circuit should be upgraded to include an equipment grounding conductor for maximum safety and functionality. Always follow safe work practices when working with electrical wiring, and if you are not comfortable doing the work yourself, hire a qualified electrician. Finally, stay up to date on the latest changes and revisions to the NEC to ensure that your electrical work is safe and compliant. The proper application of GFCI protection in older homes involves several key steps to ensure safety and code compliance. Firstly, the absence of an equipment grounding conductor in older two-wire systems necessitates a careful approach. The NEC permits replacing these ungrounded receptacles with GFCI receptacles, but with specific conditions. The GFCI device must be listed and identified for such use. Secondly, the installation requires connecting the GFCI receptacle to the existing two wires, the hot and neutral conductors. Critically, the equipment grounding terminal on the GFCI receptacle should not be connected to anything. It must remain isolated, as there is no grounding conductor present. Thirdly, a prominent warning label must be applied to the GFCI receptacle, clearly stating no equipment ground. This label informs users that the receptacle does not provide a grounding path for connected equipment, and it is essential for safety and future reference. The location of the GFCI protection is also a consideration. While replacing individual receptacles with GFCI receptacles is common, another option is to install a GFCI circuit breaker in the electrical panel. This approach provides GFCI protection for the entire branch circuit, including all downstream receptacles and devices. This can be a more comprehensive solution, particularly for circuits serving multiple locations or sensitive equipment. Testing the GFCI protection is crucial after installation and periodically thereafter. GFCI receptacles and circuit breakers have a test button that simulates a ground fault condition. Pressing this button should cause the GFCI device to trip, interrupting the circuit. This confirms that the GFCI protection is functioning correctly. If the GFCI device does not trip when tested, it should be inspected and replaced if necessary. It is also important to understand the limitations of GFCI protection in ungrounded systems. While a GFCI device provides significant protection against electrical shock by detecting and interrupting ground faults, it does not provide the same level of protection as a properly grounded system. A grounded system provides a low impedance path for fault current, which helps to quickly trip the circuit breaker and clear the fault. In an ungrounded system, the GFCI device relies on detecting a small imbalance in current between the hot and neutral conductors, which may not always be sufficient to quickly interrupt the circuit. Furthermore, GFCI protection does not protect against all types of electrical hazards. It does not protect against overloads, short circuits, or line-to-line faults. These types of faults require traditional circuit breakers or fuses for protection. Therefore, it is essential to ensure that the branch circuit is properly protected by overcurrent devices in addition to GFCI protection. The NEC also addresses the use of arc fault circuit interrupters, or FSIs, in residential wiring. FSIs are designed to detect and interrupt arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. While FSIs are not specifically required for replacing ungrounded receptacles with GFCI receptacles, they are generally recommended for all branch circuits serving dwelling units. FSIs provide an additional layer of protection against electrical fires, and they can be particularly beneficial in older homes with aging wiring systems. In addition to the technical aspects of GFCI protection, it is also important to consider the human factors. Electrical safety is not just about complying with codes and standards, it is also about educating and informing people about the risks of electricity and how to prevent accidents. Homeowners and occupants should be made aware of the purpose and function of GFCI protection, and they should be instructed on how to test and maintain GFCI devices. They should also be warned about the dangers of tampering with electrical wiring or overloading circuits. Electrical safety should be a shared responsibility, with everyone playing a role in preventing electrical accidents. The use of qualified electrical contractors is essential for ensuring the safe and proper installation of GFCI protection. Electrical work should not be attempted by untrained individuals, as it can be dangerous and potentially life-threatening. Qualified electrical contractors have the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and in accordance with applicable codes and standards. They also have access to the proper tools and equipment, and they are trained to identify and mitigate potential hazards. When hiring an electrical contractor, it is important to verify their qualifications and credentials. Check their license and insurance and ask for references from previous clients. A reputable electrical contractor will be happy to provide this information. Finally, remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process. Electrical systems should be inspected and maintained regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly and safely. Any signs of damage, wear, or malfunction should be addressed promptly. By taking a proactive approach to electrical safety, you can help to prevent accidents and protect yourself, your family, and your property from the hazards of electricity. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrical contractor or inspector for specific recommendations regarding your electrical system.